Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Transfer Talk with the United Theory. Sudhi is joining me with some latest updates from all over Europe, let's say. I think the most prominent update that was today was from Portugal, news outlet RTP, who is considered to be the Tier 1 in Portugal. They are potentially reporting a deal for Jimenez, and they have actually termed it Jimenez is on his way to United. Ideally, that would require someone to be replaced by him at Wolves. And in fact, there is someone from Braga who is already willing to make that move. Sudhi, what do you think? Would you take him, Jimenez? I think he's a great option.
Yeah, man,
17, 20 goals.
he's scored some 17, 18 goals this season if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
And the only problem with bringing Jimenez is we shouldn't just stop there, right? So we still need the right wing issues to be addressed. We have the central defensive midfielder to issue to be addressed, and we have a center back issue to be addressed. So if bringing in Jimenez means that we wouldn't be buying a defender or a CDM, then the priority would be that. But if we are adding Jimenez and we're still going for a CDM and a center back, I think that's a good sign. Yeah, I mean, I would take Jimenez in a heartbeat. He's an excellent player.
But there is this aggravated question by the fan base: which club replaces their best player of the season, which was Martial? Arguably, when you can take the whole season into account, because Bruno, he just came through January. You know, would it hurt Martial's chances of playing number nine if Jimenez comes in? Because I do. Jimenez is 29 years old. He definitely is not coming to be a number two over here, right?
Yeah, I would agree, but then again, we would be playing a lot more games than we did this season, and we'll be in contention for a lot more cups. Like the Champions League will be in the Champions League, the Premier League, and I don't think so. We had that great of a season. We finished with just 66 points,
Hmm.
and it would definitely be an upgrade if, for example, if Martial is starting the game with the Rashfords and your Greenwoods, and it is 1-1 and you need a goal and you're looking for a striker. I think instead of Igalo, I think Jimenez comes in, and I don't think Martial can play all the games in all the competitions, so that's where having the depth would be really helpful. So when you look at City, right, they have players like Mahrez. I think they signed Fernan Torres and Nathan Ake as well. So it would be nice to have some depth in the bench, man. I would rather bring in Jimenez instead of Igalo when we are drawing 1-1, away at Bournemouth. Sorry, not Bournemouth. Bournemouth got relegated. Let's say Wolves or Tottenham or someone like that, and if the game is drawn and we need a goal, I think Jimenez coming on would be a threat to our opponents.
It was a kind of surprise for us, right, when the news came out of Portugal today, because initially there was some talk back in May, I think, by Big D about a potential transfer for Jimenez. But then, there was so much silence, and today suddenly RTP broke out this news, and it was a kind of surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Sancho saga would go on and on and on. And I read somewhere that, it would be done before the 10th of August. Let's hope that is true. But apart from Sancho, I didn't see us being linked, that heavily to anyone. And yeah, Jimenez, the news coming in from Portugal was actually a surprise. But then again, I'm a bit of a worrier because, Ole, I think he said the Fernandez deal that we did in the January transfer window that
Hmm.
came out after summer kitty as well. So if that is the case, then we would only bring in one more player, and I think that one player would be Sancho. So like I said, we should still address the other concerns that we have before we move on to a striker.
Also, there is a very concrete news coming out of France. I'm not sure as of now whether to link it with United, but Lille's president, he has already said that Gabriel Magalhaes will leave the club. And according to many outlets like Get French Football News, there is a strong interest from United. So
Mm-hmm.
for those of the viewers who don't know about Gabriel Magalhaes, he's a left-footed centre back. He's a very strong passer. That's his game. He passes out from the back. And I was checking on some stats for him, and quite surprisingly, he averages the most number of passes for any player in the Lille squad. So the I think this guy, of course, we might have not seen much of him, but the way he sounds and the way his statistics look, he's quite fast as well. He looks a perfect match alongside Maguire, don't you think?
Well, I haven't seen him play at all, to be honest with you. And being a left-footed center back is one of the priority, and Ole wants a left-footed center back. I think Nathan Ake was one of our main targets, and I think City signed him up today for what 40 odd million. I
Hmm.
think it's a great signing. With the other guy that you mentioned, I mean, if he's someone who can play with his left foot, if he's a good passer and can pass out from the back, then I think yeah, it would be an excellent addition. But still, I would bring in someone like a Koulibaly, or any other experienced defender in right next to Maguire.
I'm also worried about, like how would Lille manage the situation because they are kind of losing a couple of good players from the squad. Victor Osimhen has already made his move to Napoli. And, this is
Mhm.
the problem with a lot of transfer news that we're hearing these days. With Ajax, when we go for Donny van de Beek, one has the normal question: is Ajax going to sell all their players in two transfer windows? They just sold Delay, Frankie De Jong, Ziyech this summer. So it's kind of a question a normal fan would have, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, their board has to make some shrewd decisions.
Hmm.
And I think I saw Partey, I think there were some links with him going to Arsenal, and I think today there was some rumors that he's not going to Arsenal, and he
Hmm.
cost only what 15-20 million euros is something that I read. I
when
don't
he
know
was
why.
when he went to Atletico, right?
Yeah, I don't know why we weren't in for him. I think he's a good player, but we should be in like for players like that, and we should be in for players like Van de Beek as well. I think he's an excellent player. I mean, I haven't seen him play, of course, that much, but yeah. So from what I see, I think he's a really really great player, and he could be. I think he could replace Matic, man. To be honest. And with regards to our scouts as well, right? We need to start trusting them. So our scouting network isn't that bad. So we have excellent scouting networks all over Europe. And apparently, this is one article that I read that apparently, one of our United scouts asked United to buy Alfonso Davis.
Mm-hmm.
They rather than ask, they literally told them, "You have to sign this guy," but we didn't take any action. And look how good a player he is now. So we have the scouting network in place, but I don't know why our team doesn't start trusting our scouts. So that has to change first.
We have a comment from Vivek, and Vivek is telling us that everyone is worth no less than 50 million these days. Yes, well, I will agree to Vivek when it comes to United. I also, Vivek, I want to ask you, what is your opinion about City signing Fernan Torres for 25 to 27 odd million, or Ake for 41 million? Do you think Ake is overpriced? Let's get a conversation going. But yeah, I agree to what you say about United transfer targets. I don't think we ever do anything less than 50 these days. It's kind of very amazing, let's say. Uh, so the end, I think you have some Sancho update for us, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I read again today, like it's an ongoing saga, right? And it's going to be like this for the next 10 days, I believe. Apparently we've agreed for 120 million euros,
Mm-hmm.
and again we would be doing a an installment where we would be paying 60 upfront, and we're apparently discussing how we're gonna pay the other 60. And I think Ed Woodward is also having a meeting with our team, with our board, on to discuss budgets is what they said. I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm. Was it concrete about the 60 plus 60 package that we were trying to offer him?
Yep, apparently we're gonna offer 60 upfront, and the other 60 are going to be in bonuses, like based on the appearance, and whether or if we don't make the Champions League next season. I think it will be a clause. There will be a clause where we would need to pay bonuses if we win the league. That is, I think, how there was a clause in Hazard's contract where Real Madrid would pay 18 million if they won the league, and I think Chelsea are gonna receive that 18 million. I think there will be bonuses like this which will be added, and I think we will see it through, even though it is getting delayed. I think Sancho is nailed on. I think he'll be joining United.
Vivek is asking again to replace whom?
To replace, he would play instead of Mason Greenwood, Vivek.
Yeah, this is a topic that a lot of United fans have been very aggressively talking at. Because
Mm,
there is this continuous conversation about a lot of people saying right now the first team is playing well. Of course, we need squad depth, but do you want to buy a 120 million player who
mm.
wouldn't be on the bench? It's quite natural. He's not coming for 120 million to be on the bench. I think we can all accept that. A
Yeah.
lot of people are worried whether it would disturb the balance of the team, but I think
No-
it's a good conversation to have as well.
Nothing. I mean, that's rubbish. I mean, when we were playing Chelsea in the FA Cup, we all
Mhm.
saw what happened, right? Like all of a sudden, Mason Greenwood, your Rashfords, your Marshalls, who were scoring goals, were struggling against Chelsea in the semi-final, and then we very badly needed someone to come off the bench and make an impact. No answer. There were more questions on the bench than answers that day, right? And that's been the case throughout the season. So when Sancho comes in, of course, like he's gonna start. He's not gonna start from the bench. He's gonna start. And imagine Sancho, Martial, Rashford. That front three would be terrifying. And of course, it's not going to affect some players like Mason Greenwood. He's just 18, and there would be a lot of other games like Champions League football, your FA Cups, and your Carling Cups. There would be a lot more competitions, right? So there are so many games to be played next season. I don't. Do you really think Mason Greenwood is going to play in each and every one of them? No, right? Of course not. Instead of Dan James starting, wouldn't you like it if Jadon Sancho starts? Of course, man. I think he's a massive upgrade and it's an absolute necessity for us to go by Sancho. Anything less than Sancho would be a disgrace.
Okay. Also, there were a few outlets reporting about Sanchez. Inter wanted to make the deal permanent, so there are a few outlets reporting that either they are willing to offer 20 million upfront, or it's going to be an exchange deal with Perisic. Would you take Perisic at 30 years of age? He's still a good squad player, isn't it?
Well, if Mourinho was there, I think Mourinho would even. I mean, he had plans to sell Martial for Perisic. So yeah, I mean, with the Sanchez thing, I would still keep Sanchez if you ask me. I mean, I think he would be a squad player, and since after the restart, I think Sanchez has been really great. I think he's been involved in 11 goals and assists, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I mean, I would take Sanchez back to United, and like I said, it would add to our squad depth, right? So these players who can come off the bench and make an impact. I don't think Sanchez should complain too much if he's benched because he's been atrocious. He's not been that great for United, but would it be nice to to see him come back to form, and we all know the levels he can reach once he's in his form.
Uh, do you think the Bayern Munich star, I forgot who was it? Oh my God. Sometimes it's like this, when you try to think something, you just don't get the name. But yeah, there was a smoke screen that was trying to build up, right? Instead of Sancho, we would be trying to get, oh yeah, Kingsley Coman. Sorry, just,
Kingsley Coman.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a really good shout as well, man. I would love us to buy Alfonso Davis, to be honest, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't think
it's a long shot. I think he's already
it's
signed a new deal, isn't it?
yeah, I don't think that is happening unless we give him a ridiculous amount of money. I don't
Mhm.
think Bayern has any need to sell him as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we could really do with that guy. But I would still prefer someone like Jack Grealish, man. I think if Aston Villa were relegated, we would
Mhm.
get him for 50 million. Now they're saying that they wouldn't sell him no less than 80 million. I mean, it's a really hard conversation for Jack Grealish. I think he has to go to the Aston Villa board and say, listen, man, you guys were going to sell me for 50 million if we were getting relegated.
Mhm.
And now that I've helped you guys stay in the Premier League, and to be honest, I wouldn't like to use this word waste, but yeah, I think he's wasting his career if he stays at Aston Villa again for one more year. I don't think he's should be in a team who's battling relegation. I think he's a top six player.
I think the thing that makes it hard is the fact that Aston Villa have billionaire owners, and they can play the hardball with us right now that they are still staying in the Premier League. They have that option to play hardball with us. And it's been the case with a lot of transfers for United. Other teams try to play hardball with us. What's wrong with us? Are we not that lethal in the transfer market?
Well, see, I mean, I don't think like as I think he's an amazing player, right?
Mm.
And but I don't think he's an 80 million player, man. 80 million, I think, is a bit too overpriced for it. I would go as much as 60 for him, and I think if he is priced between 50 to 60, there would be a lot of teams would be interested in him, and I think United would be one of those teams. But when you say 70, 80, I don't think any teams would come in for him. And it's up to Jack to actually go to the board and force this transfer, which I think he will do. So
Mhm.
only time will tell. I think he's going to say to the board that I want to transfer, and yeah, I think he's going to push his way out of Aston Villa.
And it's very interesting that what Michael Owen said a couple of days ago about Grealish, because Owen publicly made the comment that he has set his eyes on joining United. It's a Grealish. It's all positive right now. It's a lot of good hopes for United fans, at least in the first few days of the transfer market. We're just
Exactly.
4 days in.
Exactly, but it's just talks and nothing else. Where we have teams like Chelsea who are doing their business silently. They've got in some really nice players. I
Mhm.
think they're like 2 players away from challenging for the title next season. And you have City, who replaced Sane, and they got a centre back as well. I think Pep has spent around 350, 360 million on just defenders since his there in City. I think he signed Cancelo for what 60 million. I think he forgot he was in the squad. So these kind of signings are they will go closer to the Liverpool squad. I mean, everyone is so far behind Liverpool as of now. I think City again, if Liverpool don't add quality players, I think City will challenge them. They have an excellent squad. Chelsea too.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm extremely sorry. I just lost my connection for a bit.
No issues, no issues.
So yeah, I just was trying to come back to your point on how Cancelo that there is this French under 23 player that United and City have, according to multiple reports and according to Jorge Mendes himself,
Mm,
there has been an offer from both Manchester United and Manchester City. His name is Ryan Aït-Nouri. Have you uh, got the time to have a look at him, perhaps?
no, man, not at all.
Mhm.
Like the links that we've been the players that we've been linked to, right? Like the Grealishes and your Sanchos, Van de Beek, and probably Thomas Partey, Koulibaly. So all these are the players that I've seen a little bit of and I've heard of, but I don't think so. I've heard of the other player that you just mentioned.
Do you think a left back is important?
Well, actually, I was watching Stephen Housen and Adam McKellar's podcast, right? And they actually told that there's a youth player in the name of Ethan, right? So I think he started against Lask this season, if I'm not wrong. I think everybody in the academy rates him really high.
Mm-hmm.
They went ahead and said this that if Ethan wasn't injured, he'd be making his debut way sooner than Brandon Williams. So apparently we have a very good talent in our hands in that play. I'm not sure if he plays at left back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just check. Ethan is what he said.
Ethan Laird, right?
Ethan Ladd, yes. Yep. So Ethan. But
Mhm.
like I said, so Luke Shaw, can he be fit the whole season, man? That's the question.
Akhil has corrected us saying that Ethan Laird is a right back. Thank you so much, Akhil. So
Okay.
yeah, we actually
Apparently, he can play left back also.
okay. Ole Vivek has once more commented with us saying Ole keeps dropping hints about signing a winger. Yes, yeah, I think that's what he needs as well, right winger, right? Because it's quite clear. for all of us that we have had a very very bad uh, squad depth in that particular position, right?
Yeah, I don't think
Hopefully,
so. Mason Greenwood
we-
is going to fire week in, week out, week in, week out with so many games coming in, and we do need a world-class, right winger. I don't remember the last time we had a world-class right winger, to be honest with you. We've played all the possible players there. Like we are badly in the need of a right winger, and I think Jadon Sancho is the answer for that. We
hopefully,
can build, yeah,
he,
we can build a team around Sancho, Rashford, Martial. Yeah,
uh, Akhil has given us some very good information saying that Laird was the reason Brandon Williams got moved into left back position in the academy. He is
he's better
better
than
than.
Williams. Exactly. So there was a lot of talk saying that he would make the debut sooner than Williams if Ethan wasn't injured. So I think that speaks a lot of.
So I think that was it, pretty much it from the today's update that we have received and we have heard and we've seen from all the sources. I think the biggest surprise was about Jimenez. I think
I
it
mean,
just dropped out of the blue.
and apparently Ajay Dean Henderson is getting a
Oh
huge
yes,
contract.
the 5-year contract, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
good.
know you're a huge fan, so I want you to take over that news.
I mean, I think it's a positive sign that we want to keep Dean Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
But to a lot of people who are saying we should be De Gea number one, Hendo number two.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, there's a slight problem with that. I will even Mark Goldbridge was speaking about the same thing today. Goalkeepers don't get rotated a lot, like right, like as much as a striker or a winger would do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the board has a huge decision in their hands.
I think Akhil has joined us. Akhil, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey Akhil, it's good to have you back on the United Theory. Everyone, please, we would request you to welcome Akhil. He's one of our panelists as well. Akhil, how's things in the US?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, sorry I took a while to join.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Anything in particular that you heard today about
From
transfers?
well, I remember listening to Raul Jimenez, but I don't think I believe it. Apart from that, I think Gabriel, the defender that we are linked to. Uh,
Gabriel Marhalais.
yeah, I'm not sure who all have you guys spoken about till now, but those are the latest that I heard.
Yeah, we just covered the quota of Sancho because Sancho is, I think, we'll have a topic to talk about till August, October. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, we were just speaking about Hendo, right? So he got a massive contract. Apparently, he's going to get a massive contract of 5 years, which is going to make him one of the best paid goalkeepers across Europe. So we would have two keepers who would be the best paid keepers across Europe. And
Mhm.
I don't know how, who's going to be on the bench, who's going to start. It's going to be a very interesting topic.
What do you guys think of defensive midfielder? Do you guys think we need one, or like are we looking at someone?
By
Uh,
by seeing Ole, I don't think so. He's going to buy any defensive midfielder. I think he trusts Scott and Fred a bit too much for us to even think that we're going to sign a defensive midfielder. Signing a DM and CB right back would make us title contenders, but I don't think so. The club thinks the same way, right?
for
Hmm.
me, the dream at CDM is Declan Rice, but there are strong rumors about him to Chelsea as well. I would hate him to go back to Chelsea, where he was dejected and rejected. But I would love him to be a United player because he's
But
someone
you
I
know,
rate very highly.
Yeah, I think I like Dennis Zakaria, like from
Oh,
Mönchengladbach. He's a really good DM. I think he's 23. He's box to box and he plays defensive pretty strong. I don't know why no one is linked to him though in Premier League, but I think like he would be a good buy for 40 to 50 million if we get.
he was in the rookie of the Bundesliga shortlist, right? Dennis Zakaria.
I think so. Yeah.
I haven't seen much of him either, but I'm not a Bundesliga fan that much. But
uh,
Akhil again from in the comments has told us that Pau Torres from La Liga has been linked with United as well. The reason we didn't discuss about Pau Torres is
it's
it's
pretty much
just
done.
a very very naive rumor. there is nobody actually reporting anything concrete about it. But yeah, he's another central defender, hopefully. What do you guys think of Upamankao from Bundesliga again?
Haven't seen much of him, man. Akhil, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Scout Nation videos, which is all you need, right? uh, but yeah, he seems like perfect for. We need like a dominating center back. He's quick. But I heard that he's signing like a contract extension till 2022, but he still has a release clause. So if he wants, like, yeah, I think a lot of people could still get in, but I don't think he's going to move this year. I feel, but he would be an amazing buy.
He would be because he's been performing extremely well for Nagelsmann at RB. I think, you know.
Mm. Well,
But
imagine Marcus Rojo and
I
Eric
kind of
Bailly.
like the look of Gabriel. So, I wouldn't mind Gabriel, actually.
Yeah, imagine Rojo and Eric Bailly as a center back pairing. That would be that would be a fun game to watch.
You might as well start the game with 9 men.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about NDD, the Leicester?
Well, Leicester, I don't,
I again,
if we get anybody from Leicester, I want it to be Madison. It's
Oh, you still want Madison?
of course, he whatever people say, he is a good talent. I like him, and he takes insane free kicks. He is a controlling midfielder for me.
I'd get Grealish any day instead of Madison. If we have
Yeah.
80 million, 60 to 80 million to spend, I would go for Grealish.
But what you guys should think about is they both bring two different skill set at United, isn't it? Or the teams they currently play for. Grealish and Madison are, in theory, two different players. Though they play similarly, their styles are very different. Isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think we have the budget to buy Madison and Grealish both. Like I mentioned earlier, apparently Bruno Fernandes's transfer amount came in from the summer kitty. So if that is the case, I don't think knowing Ed Woodward, he won't buy anyone apart from Jadon Sancho. He would give us Jadon Sancho, and we already have Bruno, so he would ask Ole to take it from there, and the best we can do from that is hope that we get fourth, because I think the top three positions are pretty much sealed next season. I think it's going to be City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. So we just have one position that is fourth, and if we don't sign the right players, I think it would be a really tough battle.
I wouldn't be so sure about Chelsea unless they sign someone from defense.
In
I mean,
defense.
at one point, even we had like Falcao, RVP, Rooney, Di Maria. It was such a
No,
shitty season. So
no, these players were all at the end of their prime, right? So RVP, Rooney, and
that's true.
Falco wasn't the same after his injury. But the players that they're getting in, I think Kai Havertz more or less done, and who are the other players they got in? Timo Werner. Yeah, so all
Yeah.
these players are Ziyech. Yeah, these are class players, and I think Giroud is an excellent striker to have as a backup man.
Actually, there are two players that we didn't talk till now, but because there is no interest from, at least I don't think, from any of the Premier League teams. But he comes for 30 million. He's a very, very good midfielder. He controls the game on his own. His name is Thiago Alcantara, and Christian Falk has said that he will leave Bayern Munich this summer. Why aren't we even going for it? He seems, in theory, the perfect person. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be to do with like our policy of not signing older players anymore after Ole came in, and plus he has a injury record which is scary. But when he's fit, yeah, he's a class player, and it'd be perfect for us with the experience he has.
I think we were linked to him back in 2013, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, David Moyes, yeah.
David Moyes season. Yeah, I remember waking up one day, hearing to the news that he signed for Bayern. That was really upsetting. And we were in for what? Gareth Bale. We were in for Ramos,
Fabregas.
Fabregas. So for golden era. And I think that is the season when Ed Woodward came out and said we can do things in the transfer market others can only dream of. Uh,
Yeah, which we did because we ended up paying more than the release clause for Fellaini.
Oh my God. Yeah, the Fellaini was the only one that season, man. Horrible season, one to forget.
Yeah, I think another midfielder that I really like would be like Calvin Phillips from Leeds.
Lovely.
I've seen like 3 games, and he's been like really good before his injury. And yeah, he seems like he has good ball playing skills, good DM, and seems like a good energetic player
Uh, you know,
and
I've
great hair. Yeah.
It's very interesting that you said Calvin Phillips' name, because of all the transfer defensive midfielders that we were looking, Calvin Phillips was one of the targets. I was actually analyzing Leeds United as a setup and the Bielsa ball and stuff. One of the reasons he is so successful is he sits back when the ball starts coming out of the back and he slots in the midfield so beautifully. Will he be able to replicate that at Manchester United? Because we play a different game. It's nothing compared to what Leeds
Well,
United do.
playing for BSLA is one thing and playing for Ola is a different thing altogether. I think a lot of credit to whatever's happening in the Leeds team. I think 90% of that goes
Mhm.
to Marco Bielsa, man. He's class. I admire that guy a lot, even though he's the Leeds United manager. That guy I think is just class.
Akhil, are you worried that Leeds United are back in the Premier League?
No, it gives us one more rival to play. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. And yeah, it's great to have a manager like him in the Premier League, and it's a
Hope
good chance to relegate them again. So.
hopefully he doesn't spy on us, man.
I think that'll be only Frank Lampard's Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he actually might be very angry against Chelsea, right? Because Derby defeated them in the last year playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they did a double over, Frank's Derby, and then they came up with that chant, right?
Oh yeah.
Stop crying, Frank Lampard. And then that was all in full force. And then when it mattered, I think Lampard beat Bielsa. And yeah, I think, yeah, he'd be very pissed off seeing Frank Lampard again.
Well, I think that's all the transfer news that we have today. But yeah, Akhil and Sudhi, I hope you will join me tomorrow again. So we can give some
Mhm.
more updates from tomorrow. But everybody, thank you so much for joining.
Thank
And
you.
as always, if you like our content, please do subscribe to our channel. We are striving hard to give you the best possible content always. See you. Have a
Thank
good day,
you.
everyone.
See
Take
you.
care.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys. Thank you.
All the best for the latest game, guys. Yeah.